This episode of the ZuLoo Poodcast is sponsored by ZuLoo Inc., a benefit corporation dedicated to the goal of universal access to toilets, hygiene, clean water and sanitation through the power of social enterprise. Learn more at ZuLoo.com.
Or 25.
Okay.
And you
This
were
is
at,
a really basic one, so I might want to change my number. I was thinking it was more of a actual bathroom. Just one.
What's your final number?
My final number, I'm going to say 175.
175.
Mm-hmm.
You win.
Ding, 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 ding.
Another poop squishy.
But
But
the real price is $1.7 million.
Wow.
And it's not even built yet. Because
Welcome to the ZuLoo Poodcast, where we talk all things poop, toilets, and sanitation. Through insightful news, impact stories, and quirky humor, we aim to discuss and highlight the critical role toilets play in whisking poop out of our lives, the impact toilets have, or lack thereof, in the health and wellness of humanity, and what ZuLoo is doing to help solve the current global sanitation crisis.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another fantastic episode of the ZuLoo Poodcast.
aren't they all fantastic though?
They really are. It's just another fantastic.
I can't choose my favorite. That's the problem. I'm not which one.
We
There's so
have
many to choose from.
We have a really great interview today with Peter Bassey out of Nigeria. We had so much fun talking to him and learning more about what he's doing to end open defecation and more. He's doing a lot of different things. He is the ultimate problem solver. And
so much positive energy coming out of him. He's so exciting to talk to.
He was passionate about what he's doing and just very optimistic, which was really fun to kind of catch his energy. But before we do that, we want to talk a little bit about an amazing product we have in our marketplace that I'm sure many of you have heard of, unless you've been living under a rock for the last 20 years. Go, take it away, Darren.
Poopery. Suzanne, go.
This is a
What is
travel
this?
size.
What is this stuff?
It smells fantastic. This is the original citrus.
I thought you were going to say original sin.
No.
That would have been a great name for some poopery.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Mm-hmm.
We had Susie on the Poodcast. Susie Batiste, the founder of Poopery. I think it's one of our most watched episodes ever. But I think, we wanted to highlight the product, which is also on the marketplace, where a portion of every sale goes toward building toilets, some of our projects. And so you can find this in the store pretty much everywhere you go.
Yeah.
But if you buy it from us.
You're also helping to build some toilets for people that don't have it. So that's it's one of those first world issues that although, I must say that if you've ever tried one of our toilets in India, they don't really smell either. Has more of an earthy smell because of the earthworms, but this has a citrus.
Yeah, this smells really good.
You might prefer it, but
she mentioned, everything is made with essential oils, so it's all very natural, and it traps the stink in your toilet.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great.
Anyway, these do smell really good.
Yeah, they're all environmentally friendly, been around a long time. And
which I didn't.
That looks like a
I did not
lotion.
know that. Yeah, before the interview, I did not know that they were essential oils.
Oh,
based and all that.
This is a refill, value size. So you can get your travel, you can get your refill. And they make all kinds of things to help trap odors naturally.
Yeah.
So many different products now. So.
Yeah, they have some for shoe odor, which
Shoes,
that can be a
pets.
big issue. So
yeah,
they've expanded. So check it out. Go to our
For all your nasty smells, check out Poopery.
There you go.
All right, Darren, give us some poo news.
So yes, poo news. Okay, a little snap poll.
Get ready.
If you're going to build a toy, San Francisco is a pretty expensive real estate, right? If you ever try to buy a house there, very expensive. How much do you think it costs to build a public toilet? Not a bunch of them. You're not talking about like a big toilet block, but just one.
Unfortunately, it's probably a lot of money.
In downtown San Francisco, how much would it cost?
Are you talking like a glorified outhouse? Like who's building just one toilet in the middle of a town?
Just right downtown San Francisco, there's a really kind of popular area. And the problem was, the people, what neighborhood is this in? This is in.
Well, it's become a real problem now because you go there now and people are defecating.
There's open defecation in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No Valley Square.
Okay.
Town Square.
I'm going with 150,000.
Okay.
Oh, I think it's way more than that.
Really?
You know, higher than that?
I think it's higher
For
than that.
Stall?
It's basically a toilet with a sink. That's what they're trying to put
in San Francisco. I would say it's, probably 500 to 700,000. I bet it's a lot. Yeah.
500, 700.
Crazy.
It's in San Francisco.
Okay. Trevor, you want to guess?
I'm going to say...
You're from California. You know how pricey it is, right?
I did read a story about one that was really fancy. And this is that one that it's up there. It's
right.
With what Suzanne's saying. But I'm going to just go, if this is just in general terms, I'm going to go with Jocelyn's.
Just
proposal.
a general.
I'm actually going to go lower and say 125.
All right.
Really?
Price is right.
Oh, 1.5. What?
I said
She said
150,000. He said 125,000.
125.
Okay.
And
this is a really basic one, so I might want to change my number. I was thinking it was more of a actual bathroom. Just one.
What's your final number?
My final number, I'm going to say 175.
175.
Mm-hmm.
You win.
Ding, 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 ding.
Another poop squishy.
But the real price is $1.7 million.
Wow.
And it's not even built yet because of all the permitting and all the inspections and all the red tape that they have to. And so there's actually a picture of it. We'll show you a picture of it.
Wow. No wonder people are like defecating.
There's a place for it. It's just covered with,
crazy.
It's kind of currently covered with just sawdust because that's where the toilet is supposed to go.
Wow.
But once the people realized the budget that they had set aside to make it, and because of the permitting and all that stuff, a lot of residents kind of balked about it. They're like, holy crap, this is $1.7 million. It's just for a toilet. Yeah. Right?
That's ridiculous.
That's why they need to get in touch with the throne people.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
They just pull one of those throne things up and just park it there.
Potty. Yeah.
And they should solve the problem. But anyway, so yeah, you guys need to add some zeros onto your
even my highest
inflation.
That is to a level of ludicrousness. Ludicrosity. I don't know the word. It's so stupid. Like no rational thinking adult would think that it costs $1.5 million just to build a stupid toilet.
I guess it's probably the sewage and the pipes and the water and all that is like probably what it. Right.
They've got to do all the infrastructure, but a lot of it is the perm. They have to get environmental.
They just make it too
environmental
hard.
tests. They have to get
and the permits,
different permits. It's a very expensive process, And so anyway, so consequently, a lot of the residents kind of balked about it when they heard about it from the mayor. Like, oh, this is what it's going to cost, and everybody's like, we don't need a toilet. So there is no toilet still, because it was too expensive, and so I think they probably need to look at some cheaper alternatives, right?
Well, I mean, that's such an interesting parallel between what we're going to talk to Peter about.
I know.
People don't have access to a toilet in Nigeria, where he's living and working, and they don't want to pay for it because they would rather eat. It comes down to that very basic decision. Do I get to use the toilet or do I get to eat? People are going to eat. So they choose to.
And then they need to go to the toilet.
And of course they still need to. So they end up going in places where it's not safe and, then you've got disease to deal with. But this is the same problem, but for the exact opposite reason. We can afford to build toilets and give people access to clean sanitation, but we're making it so freaking hard that now there's still nowhere to go.
Yeah. It's a weird issue. I was thinking, 1.7 million, how many toilets could we build in India?
I know.
Yeah.
A heck of a lot.
Right?
Yeah.
How many could we buy?
It costs us about
around $300.
Around $350 US dollars to build a toilet in India.
All right, math people, figure that out.
So how many is that? That'd be like, that'd be a lot, right?
It's a lot. That's the bottom
Let's
line.
just go with that.
Yeah.
That is not my
heck of a lot.
Unless Trevor, you want to put that on your phone and tell us.
Yeah.
We'll put that in the show notes.
So leaving San Francisco for a moment, there's another article that talks about, have you ever been to Germany? Have you ever tried their toilets?
I have not been to Germany yet.
They kind of have an infamous toilet design.
With the shelf?
They call it a German shelf toilet.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
It's got the little shelf that, depending on,
how does that work?
The whole idea is that, when you do flush it, it's supposed to scoop it off the shelf into the hole as opposed to aiming right into the hole. Right?
Oh,
that's the idea.
So that you can inspect your poop, right? Because they're big on like checking it out and making sure you're healthy. I feel like we've talked about this before.
But there's a bunch of people that they've got there's a lot of ways around it. Like they'll try to pre-flush it, or they'll try to flush it immediately upon it exiting their body. But the problem is that it doesn't always, because the water isn't a lot of water.
Oh. Yeah,
it doesn't always
take care of it first time around.
Scoop it away. Yeah, right.
So is that designed made to?
So the whole idea is maybe you have to flush several times for it to go, and even then sometimes maybe it's a little sticky and it doesn't go away. So you've got a bigger problem, right? So anyway, just kind of a unique cultural thing. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Some of the people that, some people that this article talks about, they would try to sit on the edge of the toilet.
Yeah, that's what I would try to do.
So that they would drop it right into the water.
So it doesn't hit the shelf.
So it doesn't hit the shelf. It's sort of like, are we trying to make this more complicated?
I know, right?
Than it really has to be. Anyway, I don't know who invented it. We should try to find out who invented it. But it's kind
more
of
try to understand more like what's the purpose of it.
I think it really is so that you can better inspect your poop.
Really?
I've heard that in many places.
Maybe that's true.
From many places, many people.
Yeah.
And then some places in the world, you don't put the toilet paper in the toilet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's South America.
Yeah, South America.
Yeah, Mexico, which I'm like.
Puerto Rico, some places, they.
Yeah, so that's a whole other
garbage
topic. But yeah.
Well, let's talk about toilets in Nigeria with Peter.
Yes.
We're going to hop into that.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
Peter.
Great guy, Peter.
All right. We are sitting down today with Peter Bassey of PIB Global Services in Nigeria. And we had the privilege to interview Peter a few months ago. It was a fantastic interview, but unfortunately it didn't record just right. But lucky for us, we get to do it again, get to know Peter a little bit better. But Peter, we'd love to start with your background and, what kind of led you into, where you are today with PIB. And let's start there. Tell us about yourself.
All right. So as stated, my name is Peter Bassey. I am from Akwa Ibom State, Southside Nigeria. I will be 35 years old by August 6th. And I started PIB Global Services in 2020, just during the lockdown. And, during the lockdown, there were a lot of activities, but people were not going out, just within your, compound or street and stuff like that. So I used to see a lot of water hyacinths, and because I lived in Lagos by then, and I saw a lot of water hyacinths, so I started working on these water hyacinths or the waterways, evacuating them. And then I got partnered with a company in an organization in Germany where we discussed, and eventually we started talking about producing biochar from the water hyacinth. So we started producing biochar from water hyacinth. And during the lockdown, a lot of people were going to do exercises every morning because they were not going to work. And we decided to put this biochar into some pieces of cloth and sew them around. And we had a kind of a pouch. So I would just put them inside my backpack and go out in the morning and give it out to people to try it. So they would just, when they get home, they just put the biochar bags inside their shoe. And the next morning, when they are ready to go out for exercise, the odor in their shoe has been eliminated. And it was marvelous for me. And through the partnership with my partner in Germany, we wanted to go into agriculture. How can we apply this water hyacinth biochar in agriculture? And we did a lot of poultry farming here in Nigeria, and one of the problems associated with poultry farming is the odor. So we now applied the biochar in the poultry litters that absorb the odor and significantly turned the poultry litters into organic fertilizer. Already, poultry litters are being sold as manure, where people use for their farming activities. But adding biochar to it, creates a more powerful manure, because biochar will now absorb the odor, make the poultry farm odorless, Also, it's making the poultry farm safe for the farmer, safe for the birds, and safe for the environment. So that was so successful. And when we got our first contract with the Lagos State government, we produced a lot of it and gave it out to a lot of farmers. And, we've been working since then on that issue. But then something got more interesting, and I got to discover in 2021 when we participated as a company for the first World Toilet Day in Abuja, Nigeria. We discovered that Nigeria is the headquarters of open. And I was like, wow, if the water hygiene voucher can reduce odor in shoes, can reduce odor in poultry farm, that means it can also help in the management of open. So we started applying voucher to solving the open issue in Nigeria. So we built the first free public urinal, because my personal concept is that if we want Nigeria to be open free, then people should be able to defecate for free in a conducive environment, not openly. Because there are a lot of public toilets, couple of public toilets constructed and provided around the city centers. But even within the public toilets, people are doing open defecation. So it's not because there are no toilets, it's the issue of affordability. Nigeria is having a lot of difficult times, high cost of living. So someone that is living, having an income of maybe less than $1 per day, how do you expect that person to remove maybe half of the money to go and pay for the public toilet? It can never happen. It's not sustainable. So that's why people will go into the open space to defecate. So my concept is defecation toilet service should be free for everybody. Now, if you are saying toilet services should be free for everybody, this is an expensive enterprise. How are you going to maintain it? Because even if the toilet services are free, you are building and providing free public toilets everywhere. If the toilets are not clean and safe, people will not use. So you will need funds, you will need money to be able to maintain these facilities. That is why we now say, okay, why don't we turn these human feces, human urine to products that we can sell? So we now started working on recycling human feces and urine. So we first started with the urine, where we built what we call free public urine now, that uses voucher to convert the human urine into voucher-based organic fertilizer. Now, this voucher-based urine organic fertilizer can be used for tree planting and some other non-edible planting, because we don't want a situation whereby people will start saying, no, this is not healthy and stuff like that. So we'll just use it to plant trees and maybe grow grasses, shrubs and stuff, help in agroforestry, reforestation, and, helping to regreen our environment and like landscape projects. Okay, so when we started this, even in the urine now, people were like, no, how can you build a facility just for urine? I want to defecate. And sincerely, sometimes people do go to defecate inside the urinal. But so if we don't solve this problem in entirety, we'll be wasting our time, because you need to provide a place where people can ease themselves conveniently. So if someone is pressed, that person might either want to defecate or want to urinate. So maybe sometimes in the process of urinating, someone might defecate. So what we do is that, okay, let's make it an holistic approach. Since the urinal has worked, how can we now introduce the full-fledged toilet that people can defecate as well? So we've designed and we are working on this public toilet that can also have urine, can divert urine diversion, and also where people can poo. Now, the pooing part is designed differently depending on where exactly we want to deploy. There are some places like for in slums, where shanties, so where they don't have approved designed or a land use permission, where everything is just temporary. So we cannot go and build a permanent structure, a permanent toilet there. So we are providing for the people living in shanties and stuff. This is what we call voucher-based bucket toilet, where we give them a bucket, like 20 liters paint bucket, and some kgs. Each household will have some kg of voucher given to them, because they are already using leather bags to poo, and when you poo in the bags, they just throw them in the open. And sometimes they just poo nearby in the directly nearby any way that they can find it. Sometimes they go and poo inside their bathroom, and the next person going to use the bathroom is not finding it funny. So we now say, okay, take this bucket, put this bucket in your bathroom, put this bucket somewhere behind your shanty house, pour a little bit of the voucher in the bucket, poo. After each poo, you can cover or urinate, you can cover it with the voucher. Another person can use it. Then within the community, we have staff that will now go around, or we tell them where to drop them so that we can pick them up, then take it to a recycling facility where we will keep the poo that has been mixed with voucher to undergo a natural process of decomposition, where you now turn to compost, and within 6 to 9 months, it's now composted. It has turned to compost manure now used for the tree planting. Or we now construct like what we are doing at University of Uyo, a female hostel in Uyo, Nigeria, Kwara State, Nigeria, where we are building a biogas toilet. This one is going to be a full-fledged toilet that will derive redirect urine to a separate container that has voucher, and also the physical slush will go into a biodigester that will generate biogas. This biogas can be used in cooking, and if it is purified, it can also be used to even power generator and even a biogas drive vehicle. Luckily, Nigeria is promoting CNG, that is the compressed natural gas, where the Nigerian government is trying to utilize the natural gas that is flared. So if all these tools or a carburetor for using natural gas for vehicles, it can also if it works for natural gas, that means it can also work for biogas, as far as the biogas has been refined to have the same usability as a natural gas. So the whole idea is that UNICEF gave Nigeria 2025 as a deadline or a timeline to be open defecation free. But we're in 2024. This is June. 2025 is not a matter of 1 year; it's a matter of a few months.
Yeah, but you're on the countdown for sure.
On the countdown, I know a lot of money has been spent, a lot of time has been utilized, a lot of chances, and But then the basic thing is, the basic question is, where are the toilets? So it's not all about people should not do open defecation and stop doing open defecation. But have you provided the toilets? And if you provided the toilet and you're asking people to pay, people have not even been able to have money to eat, and you're asking them to pay. So my concept and the concept of my company, PIB Global Services Limited, is to make public toilet services to be free. We provide these toilet services. We convert the human waste into products that we sell, make money, and be able to sustain these facilities. This is very sustainable. This is very practicable, and it's visible.
Peter, your innovation and your problem-solving skills are incredible. It's really cool to see how you've taken what has become a big problem and you're turning it into a solution. I want to back up just a little bit because I think maybe a lot of people listening may not understand the relationship. They may not even know what water hyacinth is, how it is an invasive species that's making it hard for people to fish because it kind of creates a canopy on top of the water. It blocks waterways. It's an invasive pest plant. So your company, or what you guys have discovered is if you take that, you clean the waterways of the water hyacinth and you put it in kilns, right, to turn it into biochar. Tell us more about what biochar is. You've told us how you guys have been able to apply it, which is amazing. It helps to reduce odors in shoes and toilets, and you guys are finding a lot of cool applications for it. But what is it?
Okay, biochar is spelled BIOCHA. It's a short form of biological charcoal.
Biological charcoal. Okay.
Yes. So just biochar. No, we all know charcoal, and we know that mostly charcoal is produced by cutting down trees, and produce and burning it, and some mostly in a way that is not eco-friendly. Even cutting down trees is not also eco-friendly. But biochar means is a process of taking a biomass, which could be grass, which could be like the water hyacinth, and then you dry them and you put them into cane, like you mentioned, and you burn it. This burning is controlled burning. It's not an open air burning. So it's controlled burning, and it's the emission is very minimal because it uses little oxygen, so it's controlled. And the end product is char. Because of depending on the kind of the biomass you use, it's not only water hyacinth that can be used to produce biochar. You can use several other biomasses, farm waste, cassava peels, even wood chips and forest waste and stuff like that. So you burn it and it produces this char. This char is because it comes from a biomass, so we now call it biochar. It's a kind of a charcoal, but the only difference is that it's produced in an eco-friendly way, and also depending on the structure of the biomass you used, it depends. That will depend on the physical appearance of the end product. Like the water hyacinth, it's a grass, a floating invasive aquatic weed. So when you harvest, it's about 90% water. By the time you dry it, it becomes less water, and by the time you burn it, it becomes kind of a powder form. So depending on what you use, it will give you the result of the physical structure. But the carbon structure and the chemical structure of biochar also depends on the kind of feedstock. I mean, when I mean my feedstock, I also mean the kind of biomass you use. But the general thing is that biochar has a carbon structure, and it's what we call, and even in people in the organized biochar industry, and they call it a black gold, because it has a lot of fantastic applications and prospects. So it's a charcoal produced in an eco-friendly way. It's a black substance, mostly comes in a powder form, and all you need to do is, what do you want to use it for? Depending on if you want to compress it to form a briquette charcoal for cooking energy, you can compress it and it comes in lumps. But if you want to use it maybe for agriculture, or maybe just using like what we are using it to recycle human waste, you don't need to do anything. You just need to mix it with the human feces or urine, and it gives you what you want.
So it also absorbs the moisture, right? And also it masks the odor as well, right? And then it helps starts the process because it's carbon. It starts helping break down the waste as well, right? So it's kind of like
and to add, biochar is a kind of a carbon sink, because when you produce
a carbon sink. Carbon sink. Yeah. I just learned this term this morning. This is fascinating. Yeah. Tell us what that is.
So it means you've successfully captured carbon from the atmosphere, and when you produce this biochar, the carbon is stored, because when you produce the biochar, everything is burned out, just the carbon content that is there. And if you apply it, apply this biochar, maybe you've mixed it with urine, or mix it with a compost, and you now apply it in the soil. That is mostly why we use it for agricultural purposes, like planting of trees, agroforestry purposes, reforestation. You've successfully, as far as that biochar has been put inside the ground, inside the soil, you have successfully turned the water hyacinth biochar into a carbon sink, where you've captured carbon from the atmosphere and stored it in the ground where it permanently belongs. That is why biochar is eligible and one of the high prospects for carbon credits.
So it absorbs more carbon than it releases. It keeps it in the ground where it should be. And
exactly.
Okay, so So let's talk a little bit more about the initiative to end open defecation. It's June of 2024. UNICEF has given you guys, has created this deadline to, be open defecation free by 2025. It sounds like you have been really resourceful in trying to push this initiative. And the clock is ticking. What progress have you seen, and what are some of the challenges that you've come up against in order to meet that deadline?
Yeah, I will start with the challenges.
Okay, let's start there.
Yeah. So, like I mentioned in my intro, providing these toilet services is quite expensive, and we need billions of dollars to achieve this. But then, most likely, or the way it seems, the resources or the funds are not there. So we have to be innovative. We have to create activities. We have to be smart. We have to outsmart the circumstances. So I was like, okay, how do we get money? I've exhausted all I have. So how do we get money to do these things? So that's why I created a kind of payment system where, because I don't want to be seen as begging people for money. So if someone is giving me $5, what is the value of $5 this person is getting? Okay, so we created a system where we are doing potted trees. So these potted trees, because we've been planting trees. One of the challenges of planting trees is you plant trees and the next time you can go there and those trees are not there. People will just cut them off. Mm-hmm. Maybe they have disturbed. They will claim that the tree is disturbing development or maybe something or whatever. So what we decided to do is to put these trees in pots. So we call them potted trees.
Potted trees. Okay.
Potted trees. So these trees will be inside a giant pot. And it doesn't need to be a giant tree so that it will not disturb the pot or outgrow the pot. Or we can get a tree. Then what this tree is feeding on is the human poo and the human urine that has been inaugurated with a voucher. So you have a human urine and human feces based voucher organic fertilizer that is used to nurture and grow these trees. Now, we are placing these potted trees around the city centers. I've sent a lot of letters to governments, private sectors, organizations to sponsor a pot of tree. So an organization can say, okay, I'm sponsoring 5 potted trees. Now, what is if they're paying $5, $10, $20 per potted trees, and what is the value I'm giving them? Every business, every organization wants to be known, want to be advertised. A lot of not every company, every firm, organization, even government, they spend millions of naira, thousands of dollars to do promotion, advertise. And I'm telling them, okay, instead of you to just put a banner, put a flyer, or put a sticker on the road, littering our environments, why can't we just put this your banner or your logo on the potted trees? So you see, you're advertising your company, you're advertising your brand, and yet you're solving a problem. So that is the concept I'm using. And if, let me not use the word if, when companies key into it, because we are still writing letters, we are still trying to meet them. When they key into it, you see that, if, for example, in Abuja, where I'm currently in, I just proposed that we are going to deploy 10,000 units of these potted trees. Let's say we deploy 10,000 units and we have each potted tree being sponsored by a company, or maybe a company sponsored like 20 or multiple units, and they have their brands on it. People will say, wow, this company is supporting, climate change, is supporting Nigeria to be open defecation free. And I mean, that will mean a lot to our society. That will also mean a lot to the company, because they can be and said, yes, we've been able to contribute to make Nigeria open defecation free. So instead of going around to say, please support us, we are trying to build free public toilets, we are telling them, oh yeah, we are building free public toilets. We want people to defecate for free. We want Nigeria to be open defecation free. But this is our concept. We are turning this human feces and human urine into organic fertilizer, and we are using these organic fertilizers to feed these trees. And these trees are placed on the city centers, on our highways, on our streets, on our expressways, and this will provide a kind of advert for you. So if you pay, you will put your logo on it. So even when you drive around town, you see this potted tree and you see your logo on it. So you've advertised your company, and we have also been able to fund our cause, making Nigeria open defecation free. So that is one of the concepts. And every day I design new concepts to make it possible for us to, as a company, as an individual, I know it's possible for me as a person and as a company to make Nigeria open defecation free. All we need is just people buying our products, pre-ordering, and keying into our concept.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the commercial aspect of it. I mean, again, there's instead of just asking, oh, maybe the government might pay for it, or you may get a donation or something like that. You're actually providing commercial services. I mean, actual valuable products that people can buy, or if they wanted to, obviously buy the toilet or the tree or the actual biochar. There's so many aspects of it that, obviously helps them, but it also helps society as well. I think it's brilliant.
I do too. You're finding solutions that are beneficial for everybody involved. So there's no reason for anyone to say no, because everybody has a way to benefit from, from the potted tree program, which I think is really, really smart. What do you see? What's exciting to you about the future of biochar and its applications? What is getting you, what's keeping the passion alive?
Is the money.
Yeah.
And solving the climate money and solving the climate change problem. Mm-hmm. Because like I mentioned, biochar is a high prospect for carbon credits. So earning carbon credits can give us funds to sustain our operations. And the more we are able to sell these biochar-based carbon credits, the more we are able to sustain our operations. And the more we are able to sustain our operations, the more we are able to solve problems. Mm-hmm. Luckily, there's an international organization that is accredited with the issue of carbon credits on about trees. So they just sent me an email, and I've been reading just before this podcast. And we are looking at how can we, because like I said, there are a lot of activities going on any carbon credit from biochar. But now these people are talking about any carbon credits from planting of trees. So far, you can. There's a way you can verify. They can measure these trees you planted. The effect this tree, how many carbon has this tree captured. So those stuff, I know they are rigorous, but if you're able to successfully and get verified, and you can earn some money from the trees you've planted, as long as those trees are there, and every year they are being verified and evaluated. So these are some of the things that are giving me this excitement and giving me the push to go on this despite the challenges. So I'm looking at the future and the near future, which could be tomorrow, could be next year. For example, if we make Nigeria open defecation free, and if by next year UNICEF declares Nigeria open defecation free country, I know for sure that my name will be written in the book. That I'll be. So these are some of the things that I keep pushing. Yeah, let's make Nigeria open defecation free. I mean, you should be alive for something. You should be known for something, so that in the next 2 years, when I talk about, Nigeria was headquarters of open defecation, but now Nigeria is no longer Nigeria is now open defecation free. I mean, UNICEF, especially UNICEF WASH, know about what I'm doing. So there's no how when they're talking, or even governments, because governments really recognize what I'm doing. I recently got a letter from the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation, which they are in charge of this open defecation issue, and that I can work with the secretariat that was created, which is called the Clean Nigeria Youth Toilet Campaign Secretariat. And they've given me, they gave me database of all their desk officers across Nigeria, which I can work with them, and I've started communicating with them. So anyway in Nigeria that we are working, we would just talk to these people, and with their resources and their tools, we can achieve these things. So my inspiration is, by the time we are able to solve this problem, our names will be there. And most importantly, because of course I am not an NGO, most importantly, I've seen prospects. I've seen that I can make money from this. And making money from this, I will pay tax I will pay salaries, I will expand my company, I will expand operations, and I will be able to solve more problems.
Amazing. Peter, I love your holistic approach to the whole thing. It's wonderful to hear that you are meeting with people that can help you, on this journey and help you reach your goals. We applaud the work that you're doing. I'm so glad that we got to chat with you again. And, if people want to help your cause, how can they do that? Is there a way that people can donate? A website? How can people get a hold of you and help Nigeria meet their deadline?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, we can sponsor the potted trees. We have our website, and I have my contact, our emails, our offices, and we have, Nigeria is a very big country, but I've been able to manage to have at least 4 offices, 4 branches nationwide. We are in Lagos, which is in Southeast. We're in Abuja, North Central. We're in Kaduna, also in the North. We are in Nasarawa, also in the North, and we are in my hometown, Akwa Ibom State. So we are almost everywhere. And most times when people ask me, "Where's your base?" I say my base is everywhere, because I can be here, there, I can be there tomorrow. So we have our website, we have our emails, we have our WhatsApp number.
Yeah, we'll definitely post those in the show notes for this episode. And it's amazing to see what you're doing in Nigeria. And also it could be seen as a model for other countries as well. Like, hey, because you look at, the history of some countries, like if you look at Japan, right? We forget that Japan 100 years ago was, in a lot of cases, worse than Nigeria when it comes to open defecation and sanitary, which is hard to believe, right? But and other countries where it just takes, maybe it takes a little bit of a generation and a mind shift, but yeah, I totally see Nigeria. Maybe not in 6 months, but maybe if you I don't know who's throwing those deadlines down, but I think maybe they can give you an extension. But I think I could totally see in 5, 10, 20 years, maybe there'll be a toilet monument to Peter and his company. Hey, he helped along the way. ZuLoo is certainly. We were excited to be sponsors of the World Toilet Summit in Nigeria a few years ago, and we're certainly big fans of making things happen in Nigeria. So again, kudos to you, and we will do our best to let people know what you're doing.
Yes. Thank you so much, Peter. We hope you have a wonderful evening. I'm pretty sure it's evening over there in Nigeria. And
it's evening. It's evening. Thank you, Jocelyn and Darren. Yeah, it's evening. And today is our democracy celebration day. So it's also a public holiday.
Oh, okay. Well, then go out and enjoy the holiday. Thank you so much, Peter.
Thank you so much.
Nice we'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, how wonderful is his energy and his passion and his optimism?
I know, that smile, right?
I know. We had trouble trying to connect with him. It's not easy to connect over Zoom, the time difference, and there was a lot of issues. So this was our 3rd attempt. And I'm so glad that it finally came to fruition, because he was wonderful.
Yeah, he's super. A lot of great energy. So, just thinking outside the box, like what can I do? What can I change?
Always finding solutions and turning waste into resources.
Yeah, that whole thing where he's got the turns all that. How do you say the word?
Water hyacinth
into biochar, and then using that as a resource, as opposed to just. Most people look at it and say, "Oh, look at that weed growing in the water." But he saw it as a resource, and it's amazing what he's building these toilets, and we're excited to partner with him.
I loved his, he's got some challenges, right? There's some education that needs to happen. I thought that was interesting. How do you convince people it's safe to go in your toilet when they think you might be using their waste as black magic to do voodoo on them? I mean,
I didn't think of that I didn't cross my mind, but
I remember when we were in Nigeria, we went to that big mega church, and then afterwards we spoke to the pastors, and that was kind of the emphasis, because they announced that we were there. We kind of said, like, you're like the grassroots. So if you talk to the people, they trust you, they know you.
Right.
If you can encourage them to stop doing the open defecation, that's going to be better than strangers coming in and like.
Well, and that's exactly what he said. The parish priest, I think he said, he was using their fertilizer in his garden, and then the parish was able to eat. From, so showing the people, look, this is an ABC process. You can see all of it.
Right.
Being super transparent.
Right.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's all about education. That's why we have the Poodcast.
That's right.
Exactly right. That's right.
One of the reasons. Yeah, one of the many reasons.
In case anyone is still wondering, Trevor just informed me it's 5,000 soylets.
Oh.
For $1.7
That's how many we could build.
Okay. So maybe we should have San Francisco.
Yeah, let's write them a letter.
Yeah. Include ZuLoo in the budget. Hey, we can actually.
We can build toilets really fast.
We can bring an earthworm toilet to San Francisco and be done.
Make it happen.
Exactly.
We'll just do it for $600.
You don't need an environmental impact study.
That's right. You like earthworms? Soil it.
All right. Well, we just solved all of San Francisco's problems and really enjoyed listening to Peter. And we hope you guys enjoyed it too. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to the ZuLoo Poodcast. Follow us on social media at our links in the show notes below. To learn more, visit our website, ZuLoo.org. If you liked the podcast, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. For even more ZuLoo fun, send us an email with your toilet stories to podcast@ZuLoo.com for a chance to be featured on the podcast. This episode of the ZuLoo Poodcast is sponsored by ZuLoo Inc., a benefit corporation dedicated to the goal of universal access to toilets, hygiene, clean water and sanitation through the power of social enterprise. Learn more at ZuLoo.com.